Hello and welcome to Around the Towns. I'm your host, Dan Murphy, and this episode I visited the second annual Pine Hill 5K and Fun Run, as well as talked to local Dover resident Paul Tedesco about his new book, Postcard History of Norfolk County, telling the history of all the towns in Norfolk County, including Dover, with postcards. So let's get started with the second annual Pine Hill 5K and Fun Run.
Wait a second here. I'm 46.
My name is Jen Grinnell, and I'm a resident of Sherburne, and I have kids at the school. And a couple years ago, Sarah O'Connell and I decided to do a 5K race because we're both runners. We thought it would be a great fundraising tool. And so last year we did it, we put it together, it turned out to be really successful, and what it turned out to be was a really great community event. So we ended up thinking, let's not make this a fundraising thing, let's just make this a great community event, and that's really been sort of the success of it. So last year we had 168 people signed up. This year we had almost 100% increase in participation. So we're going to be at like 259, 260 something this year in terms of participants. And even though we're not thinking of it as a fundraising activity, we actually made 3 times the amount that we did last year. So it ended up being a fundraising activity after all. But the real thing about this event that's so cool is that parents and kids can do this together. It's a family event. And that was one of the things we felt was sort of missing in Sherburne, was like a physical activity that both all families could do together, whether or not they're volunteering or they're running or racing or walking or just cheering people on.
Yeah, I'll stand there next to you.
Yeah. Bo O'Connell, Mike Crane, run the race second year in a row.
That's my first time.
First time he's run 3.5 miles.
I'm a little nervous right now, actually.
So
hopefully I make it and don't.
What made you guys come out?
My wife is one of the sponsors, the volunteers, and
Supporting Pine Hill.
supporting Pine Hill.
Gotta keep the school moving.
So really excited?
Yes.
Are you guys excited about the race?
Yes.
So what made you guys want to run it?
Wait, what was that?
What made you guys want to run the race?
Because it's for school. Yeah. It's ACSA. Yeah. We want to run running. And she wants to come in first. So let's go.
Good luck.
Thank you.
What made you guys sign up, come out today?
I think support the CSA for one, since our daughter goes to Pine Hill, and we're Sherburne residents.
Yeah.
And what are the reasons? Addie, why are we doing the race today?
Because I wanted to do the race.
Wanted to be in a race. That's an
running too?
important day. She's running today too.
Really excited?
Future ultra marathoner.
And then I guess where's the course?
So the course goes through the center of Sherburne, and it goes it goes through the center of Sherburne and then onto Route 16, up Lake Street, down Farm Road, and then back through the center of town again, and right back down here to Cemetery Lane. So it's like that huge block around in the center of Sherburne. It happens to be 3.12 miles, which is like a perfect 5K. So it's made just for this kind of a race.
Great. So how many people do you have volunteering for this? To help out?
We have people, around 30 people I think signed up to volunteer total. Something like that. It may be a little less than that today because of the rain.
Okay, and then do you have a bunch of other, I don't know if you want to say something about some of the sponsors or some of the other activities you have going on here?
We have some really great sponsors. They're almost all people who have a business in town or who have some connection to the people who live here in town. One of our bigger sponsors is Bill's Pizza, and he actually is a Dover parent. His name is Dean, and he's a Dover parent. And he's supported us 2 years in a row. He also has his own 5K race in October. And that's a huge race. So he's actually been a real benefit for us too, just been able to ask him questions about how to actually put on a 5K race, because we had never done anything like this before. So
I'm Dean Chronopoulos from Bill's Pizzeria in Natick and Newton.
And you're a sponsor for this event?
I am a sponsor for the Pine Hill 5K, yes.
And how did you get involved as a sponsor?
I'm a Dover resident, and I'm friends with people at the Pine Hill. I have some family members there and good friends from the Newton community that live out in Sherburne now, and they got us involved.
You sponsor a lot of events like this?
I try to, as much as I can. Yeah.
It's good to stay active, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
The local sponsors we have, Aston Contracting, Bill's Pizza, did she tell you that one?
Yeah.
Actually in the back, did she show you a shirt? They're all right there.
Great.
So all the money goes to the CSA for the enrichment for the kids.
And how are you involved?
Jen and I started the race last year, so we did it together.
And you're a member of the CSA?
I was.
You are.
I'm not anymore.
The race is more interesting to you?
Yes. I was I did it for 2 years now.
I guess, so this is open to anyone who wants to participate, right?
Anybody who wants to participate is welcome to join. Whether or not you're a runner, doesn't matter. If you're a walker, that's fine too. It's really for families to do it together, but it's also timed. So anybody who's like a serious runner who really wants to be timed, this is a great course. It's a challenging course. It's got hills, but it's also got some rolling hills. And it's beautiful. Well, today it's not so beautiful, but it's beautiful in the fall because of all the foliage. Sherburne's actually a great place to run because it's just a gorgeous place.
And then I guess what are the majority of the participants from Sherburne?
The majority are from Sherburne, but we have probably 10% from different towns. And it's pretty evenly split between adults and kids, which is interesting.
That's great. So congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
How are you feeling? How was the course?
The course was great. I love that loop. I love running in Sherburne. It's a great town.
Okay, so you from around here, or where are you from?
We've been here since 2005. I grew up in the West and ran for the University of Washington.
Okay, but you are a Sherburne resident?
Sherburne resident, yeah, 46.
You have kids in the school? Or?
Kids in the school, 5th grade and 1st grade.
Oh, great.
Shout out to Penelope and Felix, and my wife Jackie.
So anyway, the fire department's certainly happy to help with this event. I think it's one of a nice event that Pine Hill does. It's an event that allows the school to have the families and kids involved. So we hope it's a really successful event this year, and we're happy to help out.
Okay.
Nice job, buddy.
My thanks to all of the volunteers, organizers, and participants at the Pine Hill 5K Fun Run. Again, all proceeds went to benefit the CSA. And now here's a conversation between me and Paul Tedesco about his new book, Postcard History of Norfolk County, which you can order from him, and he'll have all those details.
Well, I'm Paul Tedesco. I'm the author of A Postcard History of Norfolk County, Massachusetts, which has just been published. This is the result of a 7-year effort, originally with my son as a partner, who unfortunately died in 2009. And we kept on going, and we're fortunate to bring it to a complete happy conclusion as in terms of the text. But in the long run, it was a great learning for me. I'm a historian by training, and my teaching is quite quieter than dealing with this book. But we had a great result, and so far, people have found it. I'm utilizing the response, the wow book, because they open the cover and they say, wow. And it's the result of doing postcards in color, and the book was developed that purposely for that. I believed, and my son believed, that the postcard was the most collected artifact in local history, something that you can pick up and carry around. People negotiate them very easily. Conventions of them all over the place, hundreds of people sitting down collecting postcards, and those little 3x5 cards have sometimes great pictures, colorful or not, and great commentary on the backside. So it is a collection of cards that the 28 communities, each of the collaborators, there are 28 collaborators, chose, and we then dealt with them collectively. Nobody said they didn't want to do it. Everybody stepped forward in June of 2006 to answer a letter that I wrote them, asking them that they want to be a part of this project. The project being, for the first time that I know of, putting together a compendium of things, postcards, small pieces of history, and using a matrix, which my son Jim and I designed, which included those elements plus town seals. All the town and one city seal are in the book. I don't think that's been done before. And the matrix includes not only the postcards, but things that happened, did you know, and people that live there. In most cases with the collaborators, I didn't know all of them. No, I got to know them, and it demanded a lot of forget what the word. Make them feel comfortable, because it's something that they hadn't done and never thought to do, and we had to figure out who was what and what was being said. And at the same time, you don't want to step onto favorite things, because that's what mostly local historians do. But at the same time, I think there are a lot of ideas in here that are helpful. And one of them is that, yes, you may have a historical society and so on, and collect all these things. But if it's not seen by anybody, what do they know? Now you can walk up and see 378 postcards from 28 towns and city that tell you some of the history of that community, which you may not know. One of the other commitments we agreed on was that we would use colored cards if we could use for all. We gave everybody a choice, because not everybody had the number of colored cards maybe that they would want to. But color cards, you can see when you look at it, it comes up. If you use straight, here's one's close. See how much muddy in terms of the color. And even when we went through disaster, the coordinator, the people collaborating with us stayed with us. We kept them in touch, and we kept trying to get back going. Parents losing a child at that age is a tough thing to deal with. But we did, and we got it completed, and most everybody that's seen it so far has said it's a wow.
What years are these postcards from?
Postcards primarily between 1880 and 1950, but mainly in the middle. The postcard, you have to, when I was president of the Dover Historical Society, we developed a series of more modern postcards, historical, cultural, and so forth, which you can buy in Higgins. Not many have done that, although the current president of the society, Elijah Lee, has a good collection of most all of the known Dover historical postcards. See if I can open up to one. The opening. Each unit opens up, I'm sure you've seen those signs, the entrance and exit of a community, and this is Braintree. I got it, okay. Now, they are put in the book, not alphabetically. They're put in it by date of incorporation, so that actually Weymouth is the beginning one. And then the town seals. Ask somebody where you live if you're in the county, what does that seal mean? We put them there because they had educational value and also might have other values for the community. Then explanation of the seal, and that's followed by 2-page short history with a map with a designation of. So this is what Dover looks like. Very colorful town seal. Carroll House, Solon. I think this is one of the best looking war memorials in the county. But I'm trying to get to, there it is. The Dover Demon. I finally got a card going. I hope they're in Higgins for sale. But that's the sort of fun thing, and that's the only really more modern in the sense of time factor. But that took place in 1977. So in effect, what we ended up with isn't just a polite picture book, really. It's actually, I didn't know I was doing it, but history and things current working together so that somebody would get if they wanted to do some visiting, they'd get a very good shot at looking what is happening. And in effect, I would say this is both something that was to go on the coffee table. It was built as a coffee table, but at the same time, it's a reference volume. Libraries are ordering it and are finding it sort of a swell book, and hopefully more people will find that also.
You've lived in Dover your entire life?
No, I've lived over half my life. We came here in 1968, and we're still here. I intend to stay. My other home is in Highland Cemetery, waiting for me someday. So it's been a very nice living for my wife and 3 children. The other 2 are off doing their thing. Jim, unfortunately, didn't survive a massive heart attack. He actually was finishing the last pages of the first run through when it happened. So, but we had to turn around, and my wife Eleanor had to get herself trained in the software that was being used, and it took us a while to do that. And then we started out again and finished it here finally about a month ago.
Yeah, did you bring a lot of your background as a historian into the making of this book?
Yes. The opportunity to do the postcards sat right again in my feeling about how to deal with towns in terms of their history individually and collectively. And so that was part of the interest I had about postcards in the county. That is, could we tell history from the use of the postcards themselves? With a little bit added, I suppose. But to me, just manipulating them, I learned a heck of a lot. I was doing a picking out of cards that I'm going to put into a PowerPoint for when I travel around talking, because I chose cards where something I discovered about myself in that piece in terms of relationships. So that seemed to be sort of what I guess I was trying to get people living there now doing in terms of what they know about where they live. I think that we've just struck on something. If people can look around and see it, I think they can find out why it's a wow book.
Okay. And then where's the book available?
Well, right now in my hip pocket. But no. People can call me up at 508-785-1933, and I'll be glad to deliver. There will be you can do it in the library. Hopefully, the Historical Society, who's buying some, is selling it also. The whole point of the society was to have them be a depository for this, because they know their towns better than I do. Although, in the 7 years I worked on this, I've traveled over this county pretty much so that it's no longer not new to me in a sense. There's a lot you can miss not driving around parts of this town, of this county, really.
And then in addition to the book and the Dedham registry, there are other sources listed in the book for if people want more information.
Of each particular town.
Yep.
There's a lot of stuff, much of which I've read, and it's important.
My thanks to Paul, and my thanks to everyone I talked to this episode. Once again, for more information about Paul's book, you can contact him, and I'm sure that he'll be willing to talk to you about so many things that we didn't have time for in this episode. But hopefully you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you next time.